Hi everyone, welcome to the video on sexual harassment prevention training. My name is Jason Eisenhut and I'm in the Human Resources Department at Employco. Today's training will cover an explanation of sexual harassment, examples of inappropriate conduct, a summary of the federal and state laws, options for employees to report the incidents, and a summary of the company's responsibilities to prevent, investigate, and respond to sexual harassment. With that said, let's get started. Sexual harassment can come in the form of requests for sexual favors, unwelcome sexual advances, or other types of inappropriate conduct. Sexual conduct becomes sexual harassment when the behavior is unwelcome. Behavior may be unwelcome in the sense that the victim did not solicit or invite it, or in the sense that the victim regarded the conduct as undesirable or offensive. Welcome behavior can quickly become unwelcome behavior. What starts off as welcome behavior, maybe consensual joking, can cross a line and become unwelcome behavior. Also, consent can be revoked at any time. When someone is experiencing sexual harassment behavior says, "Stop talking to me like this," it must stop. The harasser cannot use the defense, "Well, you started it," or "You were okay with it at first." What are examples of inappropriate conduct? We have 12 examples showing the screen that range from pressure for sexual favors to go out on a date, sexual teasing, jokes, remarks, comments, innuendos, or sexual stories, kissing sounds, howling, smacking lips, or massaging someone's neck or shoulders. An employee's working environment is not limited to the physical location where the employee is assigned. The working environment extends to other work sites, including off-site, mobile, or moving work sites or locations. Our conduct online and through social media like Facebook or Twitter can constitute sexual harassment even when it occurs off the clock, off-site, or even out of state. Victims and harassers aren't always the employees of the company either. The prohibition that supervisors and coworkers not engage in sexual harassment applies to non-employees also, such as patrons, vendors, and service providers. Anyone can be a victim or a harasser regardless of the person's gender, their gender identity, or sexual orientation. And victims can include not only the targeted person, but third parties and bystanders. There are two types or categories of sexual harassment. There's quid pro quo and hostile work environment. Quid pro quo, you do something for me, I'll do something for you. It's Latin, this for that, or something for exchange for something else. This means that a manager or supervisor is not allowed to tell an employee that in order to receive a promotion, a raise, preferred assignment, or other type of job benefit, or to avoid something negative, like discipline or an unpleasant assignment, the employee must do something sexual in return. The example we have on the screen for quid pro quo, Mary receives a smaller pay increase based on performance compared to other employees with similar performance because she refused to go out with her supervisor. Hostile work environment may occur when unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, or any conduct of a sexual nature has the purpose or effect of substantially interfering with an individual's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. So we have a couple examples there on the screen of hostile work environment. The first one is Sally is leering at and intentionally brushing up against her coworker Mike. And the second example, Frank texts his coworkers with sexually explicit jokes and pictures. And as I mentioned a couple moments ago, what started off as being okay, and maybe Frank's coworkers are okay with it, it can quickly turn into unwelcome. And then Frank, if asked to stop and it's unwelcome, needs to immediately stop. Now we'll watch a video example of quid pro quo. So this is the Latin phrase, something in exchange for something else. We'll watch the video now of an example of quid pro quo.
Hold still, don't move.
What is it, a spider?
Not really. No, it's just a good angle for me to observe your work.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I just gotta watch you very closely because I want to make sure you pass your training.
Okay.
First month on this job could be a little difficult, but don't worry. I'm here to help.
Wasn't even sure what was happening at first, but my supervisor made me feel very uncomfortable. Things he would say and do when no one else was around.
Need a hand with that?
Not really.
Let me get that for you.
I can do it myself.
You smell nice.
Look, Keith, if you don't mind, I really got to get this done.
Hey. Last thing you want to do right now is cause trouble for yourself.
I'm just trying to do my job, okay?
Okay. Carry on.
The thing is, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm just trying to do good work. I need this job. I got a kid, responsibilities. I have to get good evaluations.
Quid pro quo harassment occurs when giving in to unwelcome sexual conduct is made a term or a condition of an individual's employment, or when employment benefits are tied to sexual favors. Quid pro quo harassment cannot be tolerated. It is considered so serious that even one instance can be grounds for dismissal.
It just got worse, even when I specifically asked him to stop. Keith, here are the requisitions you asked for.
Not bad. You did miss a few things, but nothing we can't take care of with a little off-site training.
Thanks, but I learned all I need to know right here.
Well, not all the skills are taught during the day shift.
Look, Keith, you have to talk to me like I'm a person, not like someone you're trying to pick up at a bar.
All right, well, how about this? I don't think you're going to make the grade.
What? Why not?
Because you have a bad attitude. But we can fix that later tonight. Quiet dinner, little company, get past training.
And if I don't?
Maybe this isn't the right job for you.
We'll now move on to a video example of hostile work environment. This is the type of harassment where a person's job, either their pay, their job title, their work assignment, isn't directly being changed by someone in management, but it's still inappropriate behavior for the workplace.
And then he took me this amazing dinner. It was so awesome. And then afterwards, we went back to my apartment and he said, "How about a little back rub?" So I said, "Help me get my jacket off." Of course, one thing led to another. Clothes were flying everywhere.
Sounds like he knows what he's doing.
He absolutely knows what he's doing.
I gotta make a call.
Hostile work environment harassment is generally defined as ongoing, pervasive, or severe behavior that unreasonably interferes with an individual's work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. This behavior could be considered harassment even if it is not based on sexual desire.
Well, let's just say I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
No, come on, I want details.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you. Oh my God, everything.
Okay, so what happens if you experience, if you witness, or become aware of unwelcome conduct? You have the right to tell the person to stop. The initiating and participating person should stop the unwelcome behavior immediately. If they continue the behavior or retaliate against you because you ask them to stop, they can be found to have violated the law. You also have the right to report the sexual harassment. Several reporting options are available, and we'll cover those on the next slide. The option you choose may depend on the nature and severity of the unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature. People who report sexual harassment or participate in investigations are protected from retaliation. So here's a list of where you can go to report harassment. You can go to your employer, report the incident to one or more of the following representatives of your company. Maybe it's your supervisor or any member of management. Supervisors and members of management are responsible for knowing the employee's internal complaint investigation and resolution process, and supervisors can help immediately affect positive change. Someone in HR or a designated officer can work with the management to investigate and resolve sexual harassment complaints. This option may be preferred if the harasser is a supervisor or a manager. You can go to the EEOC. This is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The EEOC is responsible for enforcing Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. That's the federal law that makes it illegal to engage in sexual harassment or retaliation. You can also go to the Illinois Department of Human Rights, the IDHR, which is a state agency responsible for enforcing the Illinois Human Rights Act, which is the state law that makes it illegal to engage in sexual harassment or retaliation. Then you also have another option, the helpline. If you or someone you know has experienced or witnessed unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature in the workplace, you can call the State of Illinois Sexual Harassment and Discrimination Hotline, the helpline. Calls are confidential and can be made anonymously. There are 3 areas at the company level where an employer has a responsibility. There's prevention, investigation, and correction. We'll first look at prevention. All employers need to develop, implement, and regularly communicate the company's sexual harassment policy. Employers also provide training for managers and employees on sexual harassment prevention using methods just like this video. It's also important that companies ensure clear communication on how to report incidents of harassment or conduct of a sexual nature. Managers and supervisors should monitor the work environment to ensure the workplace is free of sexual harassment. That means that supervisors should be aware of the conduct within their department. Managers and supervisors must lead by example and model appropriate conduct and refrain from engaging in conduct of a sexual nature. Managers and supervisors should also conduct sexual harassment climate checks throughout the year. Maybe this is discussing the topic at a team or staff meeting, in-service day, or as part of a structured communication, such as division or unit newsletters. The second part of an employer's responsibility is to investigate allegations. Immediately respond to a complaint of sexual harassment and initiate an inquiry or an investigation. This is where we at Employco can help. So let us know if you ever have an allegation or an incident of sexual harassment. We can help with the investigation. Interview the complainant, the victim, and take reasonable action to protect that person from retaliation or experiencing further sexual harassment during the investigation. Interview all relevant witnesses. Maybe this is looking at security footage from your video camera at your workplace to determine who would be a potential witness. Interview the alleged harasser. Document the investigation results, including the interview notes, and maintain the file as an employment record. And then finally, take corrective action as appropriate if the evidence indicates harassment occurred. The third aspect of an employer's responsibility includes taking corrective action. Take corrective action, including discipline, up to and including termination of employment if the organizational policy or the law has been violated. In situations where the conduct in question did not rise to the level of sexual harassment or a violation of the policy, but the conduct is still concerning, consider counseling, training, and closer supervision of the employee. Take reasonable action within the organization to reduce the likelihood of future sexual harassment incidents by updating policies and communicating them with the workforce, providing supplemental or tailored sexual harassment training, or restructuring the work environment or reporting relationships. Follow up with the complainant, the victim, at regular intervals to ensure that that person and the workplace remains free from sexual harassment. We will conclude today's training with some key points to remember. Sexual harassment is harmful and is prohibited under federal and state laws. And everyone plays a role in ensuring the prevention of an improper response to sexual harassment. It's not just the managers or victims or harassers, it's everyone. You could be a witness, and if you're part of a sexual harassment incident, make sure you report it as soon as possible. Thank you for participating in today's video training. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, you can direct them to your supervisor, any member of the management team, or you can contact me by calling 630-286-7341 or by emailing me at jeisenhut@employco.com. Thank you. Goodbye.